Hi, everybody. I hope you all are ready for a fairly long stream today, because this one, I promise you, is going to be a doozy. A mother fucking doozy. Okay? So, I think I told you guys yesterday or the day before, whenever I last streamed, that I noticed that I had been unsubscribed from Kiki Chanel's channel. And I didn't know how or why. And then I found out that I had also been unsubscribed from Abba and Preach and a couple of other channels. And I thought, what? So obviously, there was a YouTube glitch, and I ended up getting unsubbed from channels that I am a fan of. So when I discovered that I had been unsubbed from Kiki Chanel's channel, I thought, oh my God, okay. I subscribed immediately, hit the notification bell, and then I started going through her content, and I dug up this absolutely remarkable video. Remarkable video. Now, I am not on TikTok. Okay? I don't like TikTok. I find that TikTok is extremely depressing and it brings out the worst in people. And people will do and say anything for attention. And I am not about that life. I usually don't like the content, and even TikTok drama has kind of slowed down. I'm not interested in people arguing over cakes and chocolate dipped strawberries and things of that nature. I'm not. I mean, TikTok turned Michaela Noguera into an actual monster, so I'm not about that TikTok life. But sometimes you run across a community on TikTok outside of the normal circle of influencers who are lying for money and so on, and you just sort of have to do a double and a triple take because you absolutely cannot believe the degeneracy that you're seeing in front of your eyes. And I hear that every single community on TikTok, just like on YouTube, hi No Name, hi Kimmers, hi Vultures, hi Crochetter, hi Breeze, hi Snutter, hi Jen, hi everybody. I am so sorry. I am remiss. I have not been keeping up. And I'm glad you're here, No Name. I have something to say to you. But Jen will confirm, if she even follows, that Book Talk is absolutely overflowing with drama. Every community on TikTok is overflowing with drama, and a lot of the drama is incredibly dull. So, okay. The motorcycle community is drama, huh, Kimmers? Well, that doesn't surprise me because, again, every single community is full of drama, overflowing. Now, since No Name is here, I will get started with the housekeeping. So our dearly beloved friend, Fresh Garbage, cannot keep No Name's name out of her mouth. She, went grudgingly on her channel the other day. She keeps streaming about me. I don't know why, but she can't make any salient points. And she will bring up that shitty apology that she made that she then backtracked on. She tried to do the rounds of other channels. It didn't work. People weren't buying her excuse. And Fresh Garbage, I have a couple of things to say to you. Number one is this. Number one is, there is a difference between criticizing a viewer who is openly involved in ops, who is going from content creator to content creator to content creator, trying to spread lies about you, people who spread malicious gossip, lies, etc. about you, in order to have people like you soft-brained drunk, repeat these accusations verbatim. Okay? You've got people like Pew Pew Tasha, Ms. Rain Seattle, etc., who are constantly pocket watching people's streams, mostly me and Negz, and reporting back because Tasha will not stop making allegations about who is donating where and so on. And Fresh Garbage, you yourself have said that you are not going to pocket watch anymore, but you can't help yourself, can you? Why are you so concerned about who is getting donations and where? The original problem with you was that you called No Name and her husband racist with zero fucking evidence. You've done the same thing to me. And when I confronted you directly on panel and I asked you to give me a single example of my racism, you couldn't come up with anything. And so you had to fall back on, oh, I'm sure people will provide the proof. Really? What people? What people? The same people who spread lies about me and Negz. Right? But my point was, you have been calling me you have been saying that I am racist as fuck for months, and you have not been able to come up with a single example. Surely, if I was that bad, you would have everything memorized, you know? And I know you're going to review this, so I'm going to give you something to review. You've got Tasha, who's pocket watching. You've got Ms. Rain Seattle, who's out of her fucking mind, and a lot of people have recognized it. This is the same insane bitch who decided to donate her money out of her own pocket to the Carmelo Anthony Defense Fund in Negz's name, okay? Because she thought that that would be hilarious. You know what is disgusting to me? Thank you, No Name. Thank you, No Name. I appreciate it. And of course you didn't. Why would you? She's like Russ. You know, she makes a half-hearted apology, and then she reneges on it, or she backtracks, whatever. So, Ms. Rain Seattle, you are so crazy that you decided to try to get one over on Negz by reaching into your own pocket and donating your money to a stone-cold killer who killed a 17-year-old boy unprovoked in cold blood. That is who you are. You're insane. And plenty of people have figured that out. And thank you for the dono, No Name. Hey, Tasha, make sure to make a note of this and go running back to that creep that you're friends with. Now, when it comes to viewers, thank you, Betsy. Thank you for the very kind donation. I really appreciate you. Thank you. When it comes to viewers, there are viewers and there are viewers. No Name did nothing to you. Neither did her husband. Oh, I'm sorry. Her husband called you Satan. So you decided to stream for hour after hour after hour after hour. You know why? Because you're a thin-skinned bitch. That's why. You think that you're big, tough, and bad. And the projection on your channel is really amazing. You say that I try to play the victim, that I use my cancer, that Negz uses God only knows what to play the victim. You know who's the biggest victim player in this environment right now? It's you, Fresh Garbage. You cannot be criticized. You cannot take a joke. You assume that somebody who is archiving you is stalking you. I made some throwaway comment on my stream about you and your retarded friend, whoever that is. And I said, who are you? I was referring to your friend because I didn't know who she was. And she was very overconfident and very bold in the statements that she was making about me and about Negz. And Fresh Garbage turns around and is like, what are you trying to do, DC? Are you threatening me? Are you trying to dox me? You want to dox my friend? Why do you want to know who we are? It was a throwaway comment. Are you okay? You are exactly like Russ. Exactly. Thank you, Jen. You're exactly like Russ. Identical. Constantly playing the victim, constantly lying, constantly going after people, making false allegations against them, listening to some of the worst people in the community, some of the biggest tards, liars, and weirdos. And then you go and you repeat this shit verbatim on your channel, and then you just don't understand why it is that people are annoyed with you. You're not correct. You made a lot of suppositions while playing the victim nonstop. Again, you think everybody wants to dox you, everybody is stalking you, everybody is threatening you. You're constantly accusing people of coming after you in real life. Nothing has happened to you, just like nothing has happened to Russ. Maybe that's why you guys have such a great understanding. But it's embarrassing at this point. And I'm pointing it out because, like I said, there's a difference between a viewer who comes into a stream, is pleasant, kind, whatever, and maybe engages in a little bit of banter, and a viewer who openly participates in running ops on people that they don't know. It's ridiculous. If you think I'm playing the victim, what do you call accusing people of harming you or trying to harm you in real life when you know goddamn well that that is not their intent? You're insane. And I really believe that you are not cut out for this. You stepped into the octagon without realizing that maybe some people would have something to say to you. And that doesn't mean that people are threatening you. Unless they come out and threaten you. And people have threatened us plenty of times. Plenty of times. I know the difference between a fake threat and a real threat. I do. So, that's all I have to say to you. Now, I have something to show you, the latest installment in the Canadian Horror Archive. So, I was under the impression that, at least in this circle, that we don't approve of fake CPS callers. We don't approve of fake cop callers. We don't approve of going IRL. We don't approve of harassment. And was I not under the impression, weren't we all under the impression that content creators reaching out to people's families because of internet beef is not acceptable? Hecate, you yourself have gone on stream for hours, sometimes days at a time, criticizing people who contact people's families. It's very bodega behavior, isn't it? This is a bodega hallmark. And a hallmark of you know which other community. Don't bother putting their names in chat because they're all in the word filter. So what do you call this? Azria, Hecate, whatever the fuck your name is. What do you call this? Oh my, what is this? What does that say? I don't know who Elizu is. Run to Discord and tell them all to kiss my black hoe ass and tell Mickey Rourke I will send her transgender parent her transphobic slurs if her broke ass doesn't get off my tits. Really? So this is what we're doing. And she's talking about Ricky Mork. I don't know what Hecate's problem is with Ricky Mork. Probably the same problem that she has with all the other people that she drags and lies about on her channel. So, Hecate, you think that it is reasonable when someone talks shit about you in whatever capacity to go running to their parent, the parent of an adult on the internet, and squeal on them? And Ricky Mork had a response where she basically told Hecate to go fuck herself. My understanding is that Ricky Mork's dad, whatever, is male to female. I don't give a shit, okay? It doesn't matter. That's not the point. I thought that you were the transgender white knight, Hecate. Why would you want to distress somebody who's transgender? But more importantly, why is it that you can't deal with your problems with an other adult like a fucking adult instead of dragging their family into it? Why are you constantly threatening people online? Why? Saying that you would lie to CPS, lying about people you've never met, calling people sex traffickers with no evidence, and now you're threatening to reach out to people's families? And this is the woman, may I remind you, that Peanut refers to as a breath of fresh air. What do you think, Peanut? Is this the kind of thing that you had in mind? Is this the sort of behavior that you encourage in the community? This is the breath of fresh air that you gave your good housekeeping seal of approval to. A breath of fresh air. Well, that's Peanut's fresh air. You can only imagine. the stench on that fresh air. So, Peanut, you are now condoning this bodega behavior? You think it's cute to call people's parents or contact people's parents grown-ass adults? You think that that's cute? I don't, quite frankly. I don't think it's adorable. Hecate, you're a piece of shit. And anyone who supports you at this point, seeing your unhinged, insane behavior and your willingness to go IRL and go to the police and report people and call CPS and blah, blah, blah. Anybody who supports you at this point, I am going to side-eye very, very heavily, okay? Because this behavior is unfucking acceptable. It's unacceptable. And why is it that you are stalking my viewers? Why are you stalking my viewers? Why are you following Jarella around the internet? Why do you care if Jarella is in multiple chats or in my chat or Negz's chat or anybody's chat? Why? What did Jarella ever do to you? Now, I have never had, as far as I can remember, I have never had a private communication with Jarella. Why do you weaponize your audience against other people? And what is your interest in Jarella? I like Jarella too, No Name. I think she's fine. She's perfectly okay. She's just somebody else in the community who likes to, you know, listen to some drama, talk some shit, you know, go from one place to another. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, she is mad. She is mad at anyone who doesn't preach undying alliance to her and loyalty and fealty. You are crazy, bitch. You are crazy. And I hope that at some point in one of your marathon, you know, streams that you explain what it was that you meant when you decided to post this comment. You're out of your mind. Out of your fucking mind. You have told so many lies about me, about Negz, about Anna, about Raven, about so many people on your channel. So many lies. And I'm telling you that one day you are going to cross paths with the wrong one. That wrong one is not me. I'm too preoccupied with important real life shit to fuck with you. But I'm warning you that you're going to run into somebody who is very mean, or has very deep pockets, or gets sick and tired of your shit, and they will turn your life inside out. Again, it will not be me. I have no interest. I'm not in the mood for it. Everybody has seen your hypocrisy when it comes to issues like racism and going IRL and being a predator and all of that crap. No. No, madam. No, madam. All right. That's enough of that. All right. I'm going to bring up this video, and I'm going to have to speed it up because it's quite long, and it is utterly nauseating. So I think that we all need to hold hands, grab a buddy, grab your Lysol, adjust the face shield on your hazmat suit, and let's settle into Kiki's video about probably the most disgusting community I have ever seen on TikTok. Hang on, let me get rid of some stuff in my studio. And let us proceed. Let's go.
Of CPS coming to her house and paying her a visit. The idea of keeping your house intentionally filthy and messy for internet views and for, you know, these cleaning videos is like, what world are we living in?
Thank you to all the hate comments.
Hi, Ricky.
Keep them coming because you're just putting money in my pocket at this point. You're trying to cancel me? Make it happen. I'm still here. But no, it's because of the haters on TikTok why I'm in this situation.
No, it's because of you. Take some accountability in your life that you did this. Your house is unlivable for your kids. It is dangerous for your kids. It's a toxic waste zone. And you've been incentivized to keep it that way because you're making money on TikTok.
Okay, before we get started and get really into the video, I want a show of hands in the chat. Show of hands. How many people in this chat watch Hoarders? or have watched Hoarders. If you have watched Hoarders, what is more heartbreaking than to see a case of a family with kids living in a trash dump of a house with all kinds of filth and trash and animal waste and so on. And you've obviously got, or a parent who has a shopping addiction and there's garbage all over the place. There are unopened items everywhere. They're spending the family into the poorhouse, but more importantly, they cannot let go of their trash and so on. Well, we're about to see a couple of cases of that. So let's continue.
So recently I found myself on Messy House TikTok. It's a place that I don't want to be. I can't get out. Also can't look away. It's a place where people show off their filthy homes, piles of
Agreed.
dishes, animal waste on the floor, trash piling up, clothes everywhere. All of this is in an attempt to hashtag normalize the mess.
Same.
It's created a lot of controversy and a lot of polarizing opinions on the topic. So I figured we'd do a deep dive today into the filthy homes of TikTok. One of the first messy homes that I saw on Messy House TikTok was this creator right here, Amanda Rose. This is, I would say, the grandfather of all Messy House TikTok. This was the OG. And she went viral for what you're about to see here.
Let me just set the record straight. I do not call myself a lazy mom because I think I'm lazy. I call myself a
Wow.
Moldy dishes.
lazy mom because society thinks that if you're a stay-at-home mom, that your house should be spotless all the time. You should always have your together. Dinner should be done at 5 p.m. for your husband when he gets home. That's just not the kind of life that I'm living. And I will
Okay, maybe not a spotless house, but certainly not living in a landfill. There is no excuse for this. None. No excuse. And to clarify, these are not messy homes. These homes are filthy. Absolutely filthy. They are health hazards, these homes. Let's continue.
never live that life. And it pisses off so many people. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not trying to glamorize being a lazy stay-at-home mom. I'm here to represent the moms that need a break. I'm here to say that it's okay to take that break.
This is kind of the thesis of normalizing the mess and, filthy house TikTok, showing other moms or stay-at-home moms that, their house doesn't need to be spotless. There's other people out there that have messy houses, and it's okay to not be cleaning all the time. So this philosophy has obviously caused a lot of differing opinions because people are quick to point out, as one of the comments says, there's a difference between a filthy house and a messy house,
Yes,
right? I think that it's okay to
exactly.
have a messy house, but especially if you have children, it's not okay to have filth. Right? And filth would be mold, it would be animal waste, it would be anything that really is a health issue, a health concern,
Right.
something that would attract bed bugs, roaches, animals, insects into your home that could cause problems, right? So, and a similar argument that I hear is also that it's okay to have a messy house, once in a while or every so often, but not every single day. Not to be perpetually living in filth, as a lot of these comments say. How does it get like this almost every day? 80,000
Exactly.
likes. It shouldn't be spotless, but wow, you got to try to be this filthy. Can we see a day in your life? Because how is it getting like this? Like, a lot of people are not even understanding how it's getting to the levels that it is. I mean, as you saw, there was like mold, moldy cups and things like that. It's kind of crazy.
This is my consequence for eating and drinking in my room and having my
This
bed on
was
my
a
floor.
viral
So much
video.
filth everywhere. It has seeped into my mattress and
Wow.
turned it black. I actually didn't think it was
So this is obviously some sort of mold issue. This video went viral for all the wrong reasons, where she was cleaning her bed. I mean, once again, you should probably have your bed off the ground because it attracts, bed bugs and different kinds of like mold and things like that. This is why you would want ideally your bed to be on a bed frame or something like that. You can even use like wood pellets or something. This video went viral and it was just kind of gross. Like, there's a difference, right? There's messy and
Of
like having
course.
some things on the ground, and then there's this.
Yeah.
in this bag. This brown would not come out for the life of me. If I had to guess what this is, it's definitely coffee, soda, probably some pee from diapers sitting too long, and dirt
Wow. Pee
Why
from
would
diapers.
there be pee? It's gross. We can't be doing this, okay?
No, we
be doing
can't.
this.
We can't be doing it.
It was almost every single day. It felt like that this girl was posting that her house looked like this. And, she's got children, she's got young children, and it's not good for kids to grow up in a space like this.
House is such a biohazard. You have cat pee, mold, dirty
Okay, can everybody please do me a big favor, because we're all family here, right? We're all friends. Could everybody please buddy up with Crochetter, okay? Crochetter needs some love right now. Crochetter is one of the neatest, most well-organized people I have ever crossed paths with in my life. And I know that Crochetter is going to be extremely triggered. I warned him earlier today. I said, I am warning you that the video that I'm going to play today is going to upset you. So everybody give Crochetter a big virtual hug and let him know that you are here for him. Okay, we're all going to make it through this together.
Diapers all over.
She would post videos where she was acknowledging that she had cat pee all over the house and there would be dirty diapers laying on the ground. And it was a lot of concerning stuff that this creator was posting pretty frequently.
Just set the record straight. CPS has never came to my house, nor will they ever. Mold can grow within 12 to 48 hours.
Mold can grow under specific conditions. I think
Correct.
we need to acknowledge that. In really filthy, dirty conditions is when it can grow, especially that fast.
Look it up and educate yourself a little bit better. Any cats that I have issues with, I no longer have.
In fact, you know, a lot of people talk about the kids in all of this, and you know, that is 100% true. A lot of people say that it's very traumatic for children to grow up in homes that are filthy and have stuff all around, and you know, it's not good. It's overstimulating for them. I think it's overstimulating for anyone that's living in these types of homes. But also, animals cannot live in these conditions. It's not good for them, especially cats. Like, cats will have behavioral issues and they'll pee in different areas if their space isn't clean enough. Like, they're very clean animals. I don't think it's ethical to have animals if you are going to choose to live in a house like this.
Agreed.
You know, it's frustrating to see someone who's like, I got rid of that pet because they had behavioral issues and they were peeing all over the house. And it's like, well, they were probably peeing all over the house because you weren't cleaning their litter box and they were overstimulated in the space that they were living in.
That I still receive daily comments about this. To be tagged in the one-hit wonder videos about me, talking about how disgusting my house is, how I'm doing so wrong by my kids. It's obvious you have way too much time on your hands, or you're being deprived from the attention somebody's not giving you.
She used to make a ton of money off these videos, so obviously she was feeding into the engagement and the rage bait, which I do not think is appropriate. I don't think that that's right either. The idea—
It isn't appropriate at all to make money by showcasing what a slob you are. That is really a problem. And you are, I hate to say it, you are openly inviting your very, very large audience to start dialing CPS, calling CPS on you. And there's going to be more about CPS as we get further into this video. And you have to understand, I am one of those people who cannot go to bed if there's a single dirty dish in the sink. Every dish and every utensil has to be washed and put away before I can go to bed. Because as I'm laying in bed, if there's anything in the sink, I know it's in there, you know? And it's like it's haunting me. This is a habit I picked up when I started living on my own. So I cannot imagine letting your kitchen overflow with dirty dishes, food stuck on plates, you know, maybe attracting rodents, rats, mice, roaches, vermin. I can't do it. You know, having dog toys on the floor is one thing. Even having some clothes on the floor, you know, letting it get away from you a little bit is one thing. But having anything out on the counter or in the sink and any open space that is going to attract an infestation of any kind, absolutely not. No way.
The idea of keeping your house intentionally filthy and messy for internet views and for, you know, these cleaning videos is like, what world are we living in? I mean, it's so dystopian. It's like, how did we get here? Is this really what we're doing? Stressing your kids out for internet views, like that's basically what it is. Rage baiting people, being like, say, oh, CPS should take my kids away. And stuff like, it's like, what?
Oh, you think CPS should take my kids away from me? Well, I would love to see them try. I can guarantee you right now that's never gonna happen. Oh, does that make you mad? If you really do think that my kids should be taken away from me, do you want to adopt them? Because I could really use some alone time. But you have—
Really? Okay, you know what this reminds me of? This is what this reminds me of. Now, if you are a hoarders fanatic like I am, you may remember the case of a woman named Eileen who lived in California. She was married to a firefighter and she had 6 sons. And Eileen was obviously very mentally ill. And she had a real problem throwing anything away. And the house was an absolute pigsty. Every surface of the house was covered with trash, with wrappers, with paper towels, with, you know, empty cups, cans, everything else. And she was one of those hoarders, and this is the kicker. Her husband was a firefighter, and he told the producers in the interview that if he were to report to a house in that condition, the condition that his house was in, that he would have to report the house. You know, he's a mandated reporter. Firefighters are mandated reporters, and he would be obligated to call CPS, to call the health department, probably have the house condemned. And so he was in a real quandary. They had 6 kids, 6. And the mother constantly kept blaming the husband and the sons for the state of the house. But she was somebody who couldn't part with trash. And at one point, she said, because one of the sons threatened to call CPS on his own mother to try to rescue his youngest siblings from the environment. And the woman actually said, well, maybe spending some time in foster care would teach them a lesson. Maybe it would be a good learning experience for them. Imagine being a mother and being so mentally ill that you would be willing to sacrifice your own children to teach them a lesson because you are mentally ill and you can't throw anything in the garbage. And by the way, this was one of those houses where the entire front lawn was also hoarded out. Yeah, Eileen from California. I can't remember the season she was on, but she's on YouTube, and she's as nutty as a box. She's as crazy as a box of frogs. And it's very, very sad. Let's continue.
Mold and cat pee all over the wall.
Moldy food. She's admitting that there's mold all over the walls. There's cat pee all over the walls. I mean, it looks like her kids were very young at this point as well. Like they grab everything, put everything in their mouth. I just don't know what you're thinking. There's just no defense for this.
Is the phrase common sense not really common to you? Because you see me cleaning it up, don't you? Oh, but I live in Washington, or I live in Oregon, and I never get mold. I forgot we're living the exact same life. My bad. There is no excuse for this. You're a stay-at-home mom. What do you do all day? Sit on. Why is your husband even with you? You're so
crazy, but like she knows how to clean. That's the sad part, is she knows
Exactly.
how to clean. She has the tools to do it as well, and she chooses not to.
I could probably get your husband to hoop. I'm just kidding. I'm a girl's girl. Unlike some of you bitches, I can guarantee you the same stay-at-home dad you're watching.
She pulled out a toothbrush from the side of the toilet on the ground
Look
where
at
there's
the
dirty
side of that
Q-tips,
toilet.
there's, it looks like diapers, toilet paper, trash.
Why?
And that's where her child's toothbrush was. In
Why?
what world is this okay?
Has the same dirty diapers on his floor, or has had his dog poop and pee all over his house as well. Oh, I forgot, she has 10 kids, so that means my mess shouldn't be as bad as hers. Baby, I can guarantee you there's a lot more people like me out in the world. So when you want to sit here and criticize me, just know that I get hundreds of DMs telling me how great I'm doing and how much people can relate to me. And I hope that pisses you off.
So yeah, here's some of the comments. I grew up like this and it was so damaging. 13,000 likes. Picking up a child's toothbrush off the floor with dirty diapers and tissue and putting it back on the counter is horrid. 30,000 likes. I have 3 kids and there was never dirty diapers on the floor. Yeah, I don't think there's any excuse for that. Tell them all CPS would see is you cleaning food in your house and a place for your kids to sleep. No, I think that they would actually see the mess because you're posting yourself. Things are piled up everywhere and there's mold and there's dirt and there's cat pee and children are living under these conditions. I don't know how we got so comfortable where we're okay with that.
I agree.
So this creator actually recently moved into a new house and has been doing reportedly better than she did in her previous place that she was living. Apparently made a lot of money off those TikToks and then was able to put a down payment on a house. And a lot of people are like, she's changed her ways, she's doing way better now. And I think yes and no to that. She's kind of still up to the same antics because this is literally January 22nd of this year.
Norovirus got my family stuck. This house has throw up everywhere. Liquid has been coming out of both ends for the last few days. Oh my God.
Oh
and let's
my
just say
God.
my family and I haven't felt like doing jack. Hence why my house is so messy right now.
I know it's back to the same stuff as before. This has been years of doing these types of videos and it always goes back to the way that it was. And it's concerning and it makes you question whether or not these types of people are incentivized to continue making this type of content.
Exactly.
And I think the answer is yes.
But some of you are probably thinking right now, same old new house. Honestly,
Of course she's incentivized to make this content. If she made enough money on TikTok showing off her pigsty of a house and rage baiting, and she made enough money to put a down payment on a house, why would she not make that content anymore? Of course she's going to continue making it and putting everybody's health at risk in the house.
I could agree with you, except if I didn't have walking pneumonia, the flu, and the norovirus back to back, I personally think I would be on top of it.
I just don't know how it gets like this. And then once again, this is a couple days later and she's doing a cleaning video, same kind of attitude, mattress still on the floor. I guess we didn't learn from the last bedroom video. And it's just like there's trash everywhere. And is this like the worst thing I've ever seen? No, definitely not. But I don't understand why you can't just simply clean as you go. I mean, there's literally a banana on the floor. Is it Mario Kart? Do we live in a cartoon house where we're slipping on banana peels? I don't understand why we'd want to normalize food waste on the floor. I mean, there's food, trash. This attracts ants, roaches, mice. Those types of animals carry diseases. I have to wonder, do these people leave it out just for the video? And I think the answer is probably yeah. Somebody said, what I'm wondering is if you guys were sick, how did y'all have the energy to make such a mess? Like, this is not just a couple days worth of stuff. Like, this is months and months and months of neglect. Somebody said, I thought you bought a new house to have a new start and to have new clean things. I can't understand how messy it gets in only a few days. That's insane. It is insane. A lot of people are expressing that they're disappointed because they thought that she had really turned over a new leaf and that this new house is
Oh,
going to be
you ain't
different.
seen
And
nothing
for
yet,
the
no
most part,
name.
it is looking pretty different. Like she's obviously learned. I just don't understand how you can't clean as you go. I think that right there is the biggest evidence that we have. Like this is for content. She knows how to clean. She's very good at it actually, in fact, and she just chooses not to. And I think she does it so she can do these big cleaning, all at once videos.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago where I was showing the world my messy house. It was definitely affecting my household and my kids. Turing is also realizing I should not have had my house looking like that in the first place.
So it's interesting because she made this video at the end of last year and she was acknowledging all of the things that people were concerned with for.
Can we just pause for a second and acknowledge how pretty Kiki Chanel is? I can never get over it. Every time I see her on camera, I think, my God, she looks like a Disney princess. She doesn't even look human. She looks like an animation drawn by a very kind and caring animator. She's just so pretty and she's so smart and she does such great content. I think that I put her, the link to her channel in my description box. If you are not subscribed to her, please do so. She is absolutely wonderful. And I love her content, and she does a good variety of it. Let's go.
Years and being like, you guys are actually right about that. Yeah. And, all of that, by the way, for her to basically go back to get the house a mess again. Like, I don't know. It's hard to trust people that continually do stuff like this, and trust that they've truly changed.
Sometimes I was not being funny. I was just being rude, selfish, and entitled.
So yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. I don't know if she's truly changed. I really truly hope that she has and that she stops making these types of videos, because if she truly believes that, what she was doing was wrong, which she essentially acknowledged in that video, then she really needs to stop with the whole, messy house stuff. Like, it's just, no, it's never okay to have that much stuff laying around for your kids. Other people that have lived in these conditions have said it is damaging to them and it was difficult to live like that.
Hey, reindeer.
Here's another one.
Your kids should not be eating next to a litter box. The fact that this even has to be said is sad. This is cleaning with Brie. Mind you, she willingly posted this. Okay, so in this video, she's showing her cat's litter box because somebody asked to see where it's at. And lo and behold, it's right next to the kitchen table.
Wonderful.
Just look.
Because believe it or not, my kitchen can look like this sometimes.
Now, I've already said that I understand messy homes. Filthy homes? No.
No.
Unsanitary?
No.
No.
I just don't know what people are thinking.
If there's one type of creator that I refuse to follow or support at all, it is the parents that continue to post their filthy, disgusting home on TikTok just so they can get paid for doing so.
I think that's the main problem I have as well, is just the idea that these people are doing this so they get paid. You have to think, like, were they ever going to do this if TikTok was not around and they were not going to make money off of this? Like, were they ever going to clean their house? Like, how long was it going to take for them to clean, right? And what's the motivation? And why is the motivation seemingly not your kids? Why is it not, I'm going to clean this for my children, right? And I'm going to get this to a place where it's livable for my kids or my pets or myself, right? And the incentive to make filthy house TikTok videos and keep your house filthy is very concerning.
Because
Disgusting.
they are literally okay with putting money above their children's happiness, above their children's health, above their children's mental state, everything. The dollar bill to them means more than their children's sanity, health, and happiness. And I will not support that. Messy homes are normal. Cluttered homes are normal, right? What's not normal are animal feces sitting there for days. What's not normal is a dirty diaper sitting out for a week. What's not normal is not cleaning behind your couch for 5 years, and God only knows what's behind there. What's not normal is letting your kids walking around a litter box that hasn't been cleaned out for 3 weeks, okay? What's not normal is just throwing dirty food and dirty plates on the floor and letting your baby walk around on that.
God, remember all the shit that that Nurse Hannah woman got? That 17 diapers lady? The woman who was going around collecting dirty diapers up off the floor? Remember how much grief she got? Remember that people basically jammed the switchboard of CPS, calling in on her? Remember all of that? And these bitches are on TikTok, and they're taking all of that kind of content, and they're monetizing it, and they're making bank. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. There's no other word for it.
That's not normal. I'm not ever going to normalize that. I can normalize clutter. I can normalize toys everywhere. I will never support these creators because children deserve so much better.
I feel like this reaction is what a lot of people feel. And I think there's obviously a very clear difference between a filthy home and a messy home. And like some clutter on the ground, or it's not perfectly spotless, or you have dishes out or something along those lines. There's a huge difference between what we're seeing on filthy house TikTok versus just a typical standard messy home every once in a while. Also, my intention with this is not ever to make anyone feel bad about, you know, the way that their house looks. And I totally understand, you know, the mental health component of this. And also I totally understand as well, like the socioeconomic component of this. And, you know, maybe not knowing how to clean and maybe not having the resources to deep clean a house. Maybe you're just so in over your head. Like, I totally understand that, but that's not.
No, excuse me. No. Here's where I disagree. If you can make enough money on TikTok showcasing your filthy, disgusting landfill of a house to buy a new house, to put a down payment on a new house and keep up the mortgage payments, you can afford to hire a cleaning lady or a cleaning team to come in once a week, once every other week, whatever. There is no excuse. This is all rage bait. It's all for show, and it is all disgusting. To put the health of your family at risk for money, I just don't get it. And where are the husbands here? These women are all married. There's a man in the house. Why don't the husbands put their foot down? Is this just like, I mean, in the case of that Eileen woman, the firefighter husband was so henpecked and so spineless that he was just like engaging in active pain avoidance. He couldn't confront her because he was very, very passive and he just didn't want to listen to her mouth, you know? But in the case of these women, I mean, is it really that the money that they're making on TikTok is more important than being utterly fucking humiliated? What about when the kids go to school and the kids run across mom's video on TikTok? Or what about when the husband's coworkers run across the wife's video on TikTok and see the state of the house? You think that somebody's not going to say something? So, absolutely gross. Absolutely not. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Let me stick my earbuds in. Okay, let's continue.
Not what's happening here. Let's be very clear. There is a difference between these creators that are profiting off of their filthy home that they are allowing their children to live in. So now we must discuss perhaps the most notorious filthy home of them all. We've got to talk about this. So this is Amanda MCG. She has almost 500,000 TikTok followers.
500,000
she has in her bio, hashtag normalize the mess. She's hashtag mom of four. And not only is she a mom of four, she lives with her husband and her pets as well. She's got several pets. She's got cats. She's got dogs. She's been going viral recently and has been like at the top of the TikTok algorithm for some pretty shocking videos. So let's take a look at those.
Good morning, and we are back with another bedroom cleaning video. I did have my daughter go under the bed and push all the trash out. You'll see here soon after I clean up this corner.
Disgusting.
It is insane. Most of my comments are like, there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse for
There
this.
isn't.
And I know that. I'm not making one.
I mean, look at the ground. There's
Look at
food
that.
everywhere, dirty plates, trash, filth.
Young
and she's
child.
having her child go under the bed and push that out. Do you know how disgusting that is? The insects and the animals that might attract.
Correct.
And she's got kids and pets that are walking around in this. I mean, it's sick.
Here, I'm trying to get my daughter to be here helping me. She was eager to help me. She loved coming under the bed.
Loved coming under the bed and shoving out all of the trash. You know,
child.
honestly, the saddest part is that, first of all, children are even involved in this. This is, I think,
Exactly.
actually her room specifically. I think that this shows that her child is desperate for a clean house. This is just shocking. It's insane.
And pushing all this garbage out. As you can see here,
Look at that.
she's
The
loving
kid
it.
is
Don't forget to
pushing
come back
the
to the next video.
garbage.
Look at all of this actual trash and food. Come back for the next video. When did we get so comfortable? I'm like, what? So here's some of the comments. This is absolutely sick that you allow your children to live like this. Posting this is wild. She's loving it is insane. I was never taught to clean, so I'll just live in garbage. Yeah, there's really no excuse at this point,
None.
especially because this creator's on TikTok. How hard is it to be like cleaning motivation, cleaning hacks, cleaning this, that, whatever? I mean, you can learn.
Normalizing a messy home and a filthy home is two entirely different things. Do not get me wrong. I've always been a mother that said, if you come to visit me, stop by anytime. If you come to see my house, make an appointment. But I have never in my life lived like this.
Never.
This is just pure filth.
Yep.
Then Not to mention, you have your small child under the bed pushing out items of just filth.
I
I
swear
mean,
to
this
God.
is unbelievable. This is a petri dish. This is a toxic hazard zone.
Plates of
I swear to fucking God, just when you think you've seen it all. Just when you think, you know what, I'm an adult, I'm pretty worldly, I've seen a thing or two. The internet is a degenerate place. It was probably a mistake. Social media is so problematic, and what people do to make money on the internet is so disturbing and everything. But I swear to God, I had to slam the brakes and go "Arr!" and like do a little backtracking in order to take in the sheer and utter degeneracy and disgustingness of making money by posting this type of content on TikTok or any platform. I absolutely cannot get over it. I mean, we all know that Hoarders was on the air because they made money with those shows, right? They made money, but at least they offered help. You know, they offered counseling, they offered the services of professional organizers, they brought in teams of people to cart all the garbage away. But in this case, absolutely not. There is nothing of value here. Nothing of value. And you don't want to get too carried away with making the decisions of what should and should not be on the internet, because the internet is the Wild West. We all know that. But for people to make money posting this type of content, absolutely not. It incentivizes others to do the same. And I'm just astonished. Astonished. Let's continue.
food, chips, dirty clothes. Ma'am, this
Toilet paper.
brings upon bed bugs, roaches, rats, mice, things that are dangerous to you and your children's health. Also, you got on this app and stated this little statement right here about cleaning your home because TikTok wasn't paying you.
Definitely, it seems like I'm just going to eat $535. That's why I haven't made any cleaning videos, because that really f***ing depressed me. And why am I going to make a cleaning video so I can make money that I can't even get?
Well, that to me is everything I needed to see
Yep.
or hear. You know, there's a lot of people that are empathetic to people living in these situations.
Yeah.
And they're like, good job, mama. You're doing great. Like, what people are failing to realize is you're cleaning it. Girl, this is not someone who is doing this for the right reasons. Clearly, she just stated there, you know, what's the point of doing a cleaning video if TikTok's not going to pay me?
I mean, look, I remember on one of those hoarding shows, it was an animal hoarding situation. And the guy, I don't remember how things got so out of control in his house, but he started like rescuing cats, or he let a cat into his house, or the cat got into his house. And it started to snowball when more cats started getting into his house. They started having kittens in the house. And it got to a point that there were so many cats. It was kind of like Mickey Mouse in The Sorcerer's Apprentice when the brooms start multiplying. And Mickey doesn't know how to stop them because he doesn't have the skills to cast a spell that will make the brooms stop. And the sorcerer has to come to stop the brooms. I think that's what happened to this guy with the cats in his house. He had probably hundreds of cats in his house. And of course, what happens when there are hundreds of cats in your house that are all unfixed? They have kittens. And then what happens? They start peeing and pooing all over the house. And then what happens? They start tearing the house up. And the guy, I think that this was a house that he had inherited, and it got to the point where he was so scared of what would happen if he called animal control to get the cats out. First he was afraid that animal control was going to euthanize the cats. And then he was afraid because he thought that he was going to end up getting prosecuted and put in jail. So he sat in that house. With all those cats everywhere. And it was the saddest goddamn thing. And I think that this was a case of a man who meant well, but then he just got overwhelmed. This is not such a case. This is not what I'm talking about here. These women are greedy, lazy, selfish, and rage baiters. And that's it. And there's a huge difference between the two.
right? And I think that reveals the motivation behind all of this. And that's the most damning video I could ever watch. And honestly, it's the only video you need to watch to show you what has been going on and to know and to understand this, what is happening here. This house is not getting clean, and it never will get clean, and it will continue to be a cycle of filth for her kids and for her animals and for herself, because she is incentivized to make these videos. She is getting paid, and she is wanting to get paid. She's not going to make these cleaning videos unless she's getting paid. She said that. She said that. Those are her words, not mine. I don't want people to lose like that empathetic part of them that is like, I see this and it makes me want to help her, and I want to just go in there and like help. Guys, I'm sorry, but there's certain people that just don't want the help as well. Like plenty of people have offered their help for free to her. She's never accepted that. By the way, she's making tons and tons of money off TikTok. Tons of money. I mean, these videos are getting millions of views.
Wow.
Millions of views. Okay. And she is also in the creator fund. Okay. So I can assure you, she's making bank off of this. Even still, she refuses to hire cleaning services. The problem continues. She can go and get professional help for these problems, but she doesn't do it. Their actions speak louder than words in this situation. And she says, I'm not making excuses. This is not okay for my kids, and continues to do the same thing over and over and over. Okay. We need to wise up and be like, you know what? This is not going to change. This person's not going to change. Nothing's going to change this person. It would have happened already. Right. And she's doing this for money, which is sick, that she would put money over her kids and her animals' well-being and their mental health.
This is a pile of laundry. That's not even what I want to point out. Yeah, the laundry's disgusting, but notice the rug, notice the walls, notice the filth just all over the walls. And it doesn't stop there. Look at the floors, look at the counters. This one really got me. I guess a sink overflowed because their washer drains into the sink.
This is one of the most disgusting videos I've ever seen. I was going to include it in this video. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
And their cat litter sits underneath this sink and it overflowed. And so this is like dirt, grime, filth,
disgusting
cat litter, cat feces. I mean, when I think about the smell, it sends me into a panic.
It's like Shani and Rev's house in Colorado. Remember? The state of the guinea pig cages, the state of the boys' bedrooms, the conditions that the animals were living in, and of course the boys. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? It is absolutely vile.
As an animal lover and a cat owner, this makes me literally sick to my stomach. To think that animals are living in these conditions, I have such a problem with this. It's like, it's actually out of control.
This is the
really
sink
vultures?
that the water from the
minds.
washing machine drains into. This is the feces and cat litter and water all over their floor. This was the top of their dryer, I believe. Look at the floor. This has
We should all know less about each other.
been going on for 5 years.
Fridge clean out. I can finally do
Oh,
voiceovers.
Lord
I'm
have
excited about that 'cause
mercy.
I got a lot to say.
I have a lot to say too,
Disgusting.
but I'll let you go first.
Of course, I know what this looks like. Obviously, that's why I'm cleaning it.
Yeah, you know, in all this person's videos as well, like every single video, she says something like, I know, guys, I don't need to hear it. I already know. There's no excuses. I'm not making one. To me, it's all very manipulative. If you know, then it should never be like this. She's been saying this for 5 years. I know, guys. I know my
Same.
kids should never live like this. Then why do they? If you know, then why do they? There's no excuse. There is zero excuse. It's so frustrating to see people fall for this act.
Yeah, I think the question here is, how did you let it get to that level? What gets me is that this is
Oh.
the fridge that your children get food from. Is that rat poop right there? What is that black brown stuff on the... What?
I know this is a health issue.
To say it out loud and be like, I know this is a health issue. And clearly they've been living like that for years now.
Again, if you knew this was a health issue, why did you let it get to this point?
I already know somebody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, are those nuts?"
Oh my God.
Raisins. Oh.
Ugh.
No, those are blueberries.
You
She doesn't know.
don't even know what they are. As someone who's had pet rats, some of those are definitely rat poops. Is that...
Okay, can I ask the group a question? How in the world would rats get into the refrigerator? How does that happen? In a home that is inhabited, not an abandoned home, but in a home where a family lives. How would that happen? What the actual fuck? Absolutely disgusting. I'm very, very worried about Crochetter right now. Would everybody check in with him? Because just let's just keep an eye on Crochetter, because I want to make sure that he doesn't have the vapors. We don't want to lose him. He's a good man. We want to make sure he's okay. We have to look out for each other.
That red stuff, the blood from the meat? I know that's not juice. Oh
It's
my
sick.
goodness, why do people film and post their dirty houses online when they have kids? Don't you realize that your kids go to school, and when you
Exactly.
go viral like this, how do you think that makes them look?
If I can guess, these kids are probably intensely embarrassed of the way that their house looks. And intensely stressed out by it, because who wouldn't be? And to know that their mom is like just airing it out like for content online, when they probably like that to be private information, like they're probably desperately trying to keep that a secret, that their house looks like this and that they're living in these conditions, because kids at school can be so nasty. It just breaks my heart.
And by the way, to the person who sent me this, thank you so much. We haven't opened it because my dogs are jerks. So we're going to rug doctor it first. I know we need to clean up this corner. And if they do it again, which I'm sure they will, I'll be ready.
So
you know what? I think that my first move, my first order of business in that house would be to rip up that carpet and burn it. Get rid of all the carpet in the house. All of it. This is not a family that can live in a house with carpet. They're too dirty. They're too filthy. You know, you get one animal, especially a cat, peeing on that rug, or on that carpet, I should say, and it's you know, it's curtains for the whole family. And the carpet is so filthy. It's so old and so filthy that I think that, you know, it's time for it to go. Send it off. Have a nice little memorial service for it. Burn it in the backyard and be done with it, because it's not salvageable.
Dogs are peeing and probably pooping on the carpet, and people are sending her free stuff. Guys, she's got everything she needs to make this house clean, and she just still doesn't do it. Sending her wet vacs, professional cleaning stuff, and she's not even opened it yet or used it. Look at this. You can't even get into the rooms because there's so many clothes piled up. Guys, this is not like a one-day thing. This is weeks of neglect.
I'm going to the laundromat tomorrow to deal with this, and I am going to try to carpet clean my carpets, even though...
Forget it.
The dogs chewed it up.
Here's her Amazon wish list of things. Where's the cleaning supplies? I don't know. But Monopoly, a new carpet, Lilo and Stitch toy. What? A purse down at the bottom? That's what we're asking for? I honestly am disturbed that these people are profiting off of it. She's preying on the good nature of good people, and I do not like that at all. No, you're taking advantage of people that are kind and empathetic towards you, and it's just disgusting. Somebody commented, but it's been 5 years. 5 years.
5 years this woman has been
5 years.
doing this shit.
Let's get into that, actually.
The picture you are about to see behind me may shock some of you. This is a room that we have not been in. This is a room that I closed the door and forgot about. I let my cat have kittens, plus there's just a ton of clothes in there. This room is going to be my boys' room, finally, because they've been sleeping in bed with us. So, I know.
She's going to let her kids move into this room. They've been sleeping in her room because they don't have a room because it's so disgusting and dirty. And she let cats basically take it over and, you know, have kittens and poop and pee in there, which is...
Wow, okay. All right, Amberlynn Reed. Remember when Amberlynn Reed turned an entire room of her apartment, the spare bedroom, into a giant litter box? Yeah. Look at that. Look at the state of that. Can you imagine the smell in that house? The smell alone. And why are your cats having kittens? Why aren't your cats fixed? Why are you adding to the animal population? And how many animals do they have in that house? That's the other thing I'd like to know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I wonder if animal control has paid her a visit, because she's been posting for 5 motherfucking years. And we've still got animals, children, everybody living in these conditions. Wow.
Is so disgusting. I mean, like, that's not an overnight clean where you just pick things up and then you're good. It's probably crystallized into the carpet. I mean, you have to probably rip up the carpet. The ammonia smell, we're joking, right? You can't live in there. The mold. No. You can't have children live in this room safely.
No.
I know. And here's
she knows. Every single video. I know. For 5 years. It's been I know.
Way through, we're getting somewhere. This about killed me. I almost had an asthma attack, and I don't even have asthma.
Almost had an asthma attack cleaning the room. Simply cleaning the room. And you want your sons to sleep in the room that you almost had an asthma attack cleaning. Here's somebody that commented, recognize your efforts and the work you put in. Congrats to you for making the change. Keep up the good work.
Change?
This is in 2024, end of 2024. Okay, just keep that in mind. Keep the date in mind. Please watch the video before you pass judgment, she wrote in the caption. All right, let's watch it clean.
You guys gotta remember, I had a cat that had kittens in this room, and the kittens did use the room as their personal litter box.
Why?
Used it as their personal litter box. Using a room as your personal litter box. You can't make it up. And she wants to be patted on the back, and she's making money off of that.
Right.
And she's gonna stick her 2 kids in this room.
I am hoping by Friday we can get this room all set up for the boys.
There's no way.
And the thing is, if she turned that room into a giant commode for the cats and the kittens, why is there so much trash in that room? Please don't tell me that people were eating in that room. I mean, this is the thing I've never understood about animal hoarders, particularly people who hoard cats. At some point, do these people go nose blind? Is there, do they reach a point where they just literally cannot smell what's all around them? It must be. It must be. And you know goddamn well, I don't remember who said it earlier, maybe it was Tizzy, I'm not sure, but you know that the kids smell too. You know that they're, I get it, No Name, believe me, I had to white knuckle my way through this video. That's why I sped it up. You know that the clothing is permeated with this odor. And if these kids go out and they play with friends, or they're in preschool or in whatever level of school they're in, that they smell. I mean, when I was in junior high school, I used to take the school bus, and my school went from K to, I think at the time, it ended in the 11th grade. Very, very small school. And so there would be kids of all ages on the school bus. And there was a little girl who would get on the bus. And the little girl stank. Not because of body odor. She didn't smell. It was her clothing. Her mother was a chain smoker, which was not unusual. It was the 1970s. I mean, everybody's parents chain smoked, except for mine. You know, mine were the exception. But this little girl would get on the bus, and she was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and the other kids would back away from her. That's how bad the smell was. Because it wasn't just that her clothes reeked of cigarettes, which again was not an unusual phenomenon in the 70s. All of our teachers smoked, the principal smoked, all the parents smoked. So this was not unusual. It was the way that the scent clung to this little girl's clothes, so that the clothing obviously had not been washed in a very long time. And it was like a buildup. And the kids were like, they didn't bully her because she was very sweet. She was just a little girl, maybe 5, 6 years old. But it was that we couldn't be around her. You know, she would go and she would sit in one of the seats, and the kid who would be sitting there would move. And it was horrible, and I felt really sorry for her, you know? So imagine that ammonia smell and how much worse it can be than cigarettes.
You could turn around a room like that in even a week. You need to get a mold team in there. You need to probably rip the carpets out. You need to actually shampoo every single thing that's in there, sanitize every single thing that's in there. It's not safe. Probably close off any holes where mice and rats could get in. This is crazy.
I know the amount of hate I'm going to get right now.
I know the amount of
what
hate.
this looks like, and I am holding myself accountable because it is finally time to make a change.
Holding myself accountable because it's finally time to make a change. By the way, she's cleaning up a ton of Twisted Tea freaking cans. I mean, you can't make it up. Dirty
Amazing.
Food plates. This is not a one-day thing. I mean, this is insane.
I know I say this every single time, but this is a matter of life and death. We're
Matter of life and death. And she knows, by the way, she knows. This is a matter of life and death, she says.
going to make a change and keep it this way because my kids do not deserve this, and I know that.
My kids do not deserve this, and I know that. And this was posted March of 2024. Okay, so a year ago.
Wow.
She posted, I know, this is a matter of life and death. My kids do not deserve this, and I'm going to make a change. This was last year. All of those videos, like the one especially of her daughter pushing the trash out from underneath the bed, that's from this year. Okay, so nothing's changed. And hashtag normalize the messes in here. I mean, you got to be joking. Why would you want to normalize this? Here's another one.
Now, when I tell you my laundry has been piled up like this for a really long time, I mean probably a year.
Probably a year. Her laundry's been piled up like this in front of the laundry. Look at the floors. Look at the floors. And by the way, behind this door right here, this thing right here, yeah, that's her cat's litter box. What?
All this was basically trash. I did pick through and grab out like socks and underwear.
What are you a year? Okay, by the way, this was in, once again, 2024, April of 2024. Also gonna clean the inside of the
Agreed.
washer because it's dirty. The joys of living in the
Agreed.
desert. Girl, this is not the desert. Plenty of people live in the desert and their houses do not look like this. You've gotta be kidding. So yeah, okay, April 2024. Here's another one, April 2024. This is what the kitchen looks like. Grime, filth, absolutely everywhere. This is the kitchen in April of 2024, last year.
Ready? Are you kidding me?
The grime.
Are
it's
you
black.
kidding me?
This is the windowsill.
Wow.
Last year.
Oh my
black.
God.
Okay, but then in October of last year, the house was somewhat, relatively, for her, clean again. Obviously, there's
Yeah.
still stuff in the hallway,
Looks
but
much
you know,
better.
it got to a place where it was clean again, somewhat. This is what the kitchen looked like October of last year. Okay, so it was probably the cleanest it's ever been
very
for
nice.
her, right? And then, as you know, it went right back, because it's a cycle. This is a content cycle of, I'm gonna clean it. Guys, I'm doing better. I'm motivated. I can do this. I know. Then it gets like this again, filthy again. And she knows it's a matter of life and death, and she knows that her kids deserve better. And it always gets like this. It always comes back. It never changes. Nothing's gonna change. This is 2023. 2023.
Aww.
I'm at the end of my rope. I was really motivated, was the caption. 2023, this is what the kitchen looks like. October 2023, this is what living room looks like. Stay tuned for cleaning videos to come. Hashtag normalize the mess. I mean, she's been normalizing the mess for years. 2023, once again, I failed my family way too much this time. Now it's up to me to fix it before Christmas. This is unbelievable.
Okay.
Unbelievable. 2023, once again, nothing's changed. It's the same now in 2025. Yep, here it is again. Animals running around, her kids in a
Those
jumping
poor
thing.
dogs.
In what world is this okay?
Yep, so I'm really putting myself out here right now. I don't need to hear it in the comment.
I don't need to hear in the comments. I already know. There it is again. I already know.
Because I already know.
Oh, she already know. Okay.
This is not okay.
This is not okay. She says, this was 2023. She says, I know this is not okay. It's bad, but I'm doing something to change that. She's been saying she's been doing something to change that for 5 years. Okay?
I know my kids deserve better, and I am going to try to make a change.
I know my kids deserve better. I can't believe somebody would utter those words and then continue to do the same thing over and over and over. And then complain that TikTok's not paying her, so why would I make a cleaning video?
Gotta do this for us.
February 2023, bragging about how she is the messiest home of everybody. That's not something that you want to brag about. This is literally over 2 years ago. This is what her house looked like. And as a reminder, this is what her house looks like now. Right now, 5 years later.
Wow.
The same, if not worse. And this is her toilet as well.
Oh, no,
this is
no, no,
years of neglect. Years, okay? I know it was bad, and I know I was neglectful. That's her child's toilet, by the way, that her children use.
Exactly,
I just don't
Dove
know in
Kitty.
what world you could sleep at night, knowing that that's what your kids have to use to go to the bathroom. It's just, that's not even livable. It's just disgusting. Obviously, there's been a lot of reactions to this type of content. I love that TikTok, you can hear so many different perspectives from people. And I thought that this one was really important for this video. So let's listen to this.
Currently live and have always lived in what you would call a filthy house. It's really, really dirty and disgusting, but also a hoarder's house. Despite the fact that parents only think that they're affecting themselves when they live in a house like this, they're also affecting their children. Whenever we'd have like my mom's family over or my dad's family over, I just remember going on cleaning sprees for about a week beforehand and intensely cleaning every single room of the house because we needed to at least have it manageable before people came over, and our manageable was not even clean.
It's so sad. You know
That's
that she
awful.
didn't make a single ounce of this mess, and she's cleaning the house.
But those were always like the most stressful days of my life because they lasted hours and hours and hours, and we were just cleaning all day long. I am incredibly anxious by messy spaces, and so I don't really leave my room currently as I'm living here because outside my room is the danger zone. Inside my room is perfectly safe and clean and exactly how I like it.
I just don't.
I swear to God, I just want to hug this girl. I really do. I have seen other young people and children like her on Hoarders who are still living in the house for whatever reason. And the only sanctuary that they have is their bedroom. And you leave the bedroom and it is, you know, a disaster, you know. And the fact that these kids cannot have friends over, the fact that these kids can't have a normal social life, they can't relax with their families in common living spaces because the family is so out of control. And my question about this is, she says that when her parents' families come over, she has to spend a week cleaning. Are their families not aware of how serious the situation is? Or maybe those families are just as bad. Maybe her mom and her dad learned their terrible habits from their parents. Because how is it possible that you could have extended family and that not a single person would stage an intervention of some kind, that nobody would step in and try to help? I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions because I don't know. But why should this girl be imprisoned in her bedroom? And she is the one I feel sorry for. She's actually making an effort. You can tell that this has really affected her. And she deserves better. And if there are any other kids in the house, they deserve better too. And it's unforgivable, quite frankly. Unforgivable.
I don't know how you can hear something like this and ever feel like it's okay. When you're referring to the outside of your room as the danger zone, literally and figuratively, it is. It is dangerous.
Not messy and not overwhelming. People coming over to my house for the first time is honestly the most embarrassing scenario I can ever be in. And that is literally just because I'm a...
No, that was not Eileen. That woman was called, I think, Deborah, the one with the really like cheap plastic red wig. No, that woman had a shopping addiction. And she was the one who said that she didn't like her sons. And the only reason that I know this off the top of my head is because when I was looking up Eileen on Reddit yesterday, a lot of people mixed the two up. Eileen had 6 kids, lived in California. Her husband was black and he was a firefighter. The other one, I guess her name was Deborah. And that was, I even remember the citation on Reddit. It was like season 6. Episode 1. No, she was a shopping addict. And that was another bad situation. It seemed like she improved for a while and then she backtracked. I don't know. It was a whole thing. But no, and for some reason, people mix them up. I don't know why people confuse the two of them. But no. No, but I do remember that wig. It was the cheapest, weirdest, most out of place wig, and Eileen did not wear a wig. Eileen went au naturel, but no, they're not the same person.
Aware of how messy my house is, but I'm trying to like cover it up for whatever reason, even though my friends already know. So like I will be closing cabinets right as they're walking towards them because I know that they're messy and unorganized.
Correct.
And I don't want them to look inside, or sometimes there's like gross crumbs in the cabinets, or our refrigerators are gross, so I will grab things out of the refrigerator for them, or the microwave is gross, so I will put things in the microwave for them and shut it really fast so they don't see inside the microwave.
It's just sad.
A majority of my friends have never seen my house, and they never will, and I don't want them to know the state of my house. I don't want them to see my house. I don't want them anywhere near my house because I just don't trust them in that way yet. We just honestly don't want them to change their opinion on me.
I appreciate her perspective so much because it's important to know how it affects your children, and to hear someone articulate that and the anxiety and like the stress of living in a house like this. Somebody said, I grew up in a house like this. I haven't spoken to my parents in years. This can ruin relationships. It's hard to reconcile with the fact that maybe my mom or my dad, they are complicit with this. They know how their house is making me feel and they never did anything to change it. They knew how damaging it was to me or traumatic it was, and they never did anything to fix it, and they never helped me.
You know what's so funny? This is exactly what I thought the first time I saw the episode. Because the wig was so cheap. It was so wiggy. You know what I mean? It literally looked like the wigs that you would get from, you know, those prepackaged costumes that you would buy around Halloween, like Spirit of Halloween or whatever. It's the kind of wig that will never look natural. It will always look like plastic. And it was this unnatural shade of red. And I remember thinking the same thing, like, bitch, you are spending a fortune. Look at the state of your house. Look at all this crap that you've bought and moved into your house. And you're so cheap that you buy, like, literally the cheapest Party City Spirit of Halloween wig imaginable. And then you just plonk that thing on your head and you walk around with that on your head, acting like, you know, what's everybody looking at? I mean, I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. It was crazy. But you're absolutely right. If you have a shopping addiction and you want to wear a wig, for God's sake, go to, I don't remember what state this woman was in, go down to like the Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, go to the wig store where all the, you know, religious Jewish ladies buy their wigs, and shell out a couple of $1,000 for a natural human hair wig, and you are going to look sickening. And take that thing off your head at once. Makes no sense.
And they chose a mess and filth over me.
I gotta.
And I think that that's hard for a lot of these children to deal with as they move into adulthood and they get their own house and they don't want to live like this. It's a lifestyle at this point. Exactly. Yeah, it's been 5 years. Somebody said, my sister and I grew up in a house like this with a mother just like you. Neither one of us speak to her now. We both have kids of our own. We both live on our own, and our houses never look like this. And of course, these types of creators are going to look at these comments as like hate comments and, you know, oh, you're just a hater, you're being a hater, whatever. And it's like, no, these are the kind of comments that I think, in my opinion, are the most important to read and to take in, because it's like, this is what your future is going to look like with your kids, potentially, if you do not get this under control.
Absolutely.
Right? And your kids may never speak to you again because of this. That makes me sad. You know, I want her to have a relationship with her kids, and I want them to have a long, happy, healthy life together and like enjoy their time together. But that's never going to happen if you continue to prioritize TikTok money over your kids.
Right.
It's just not. Stop normalizing filth. This isn't just a messy house because of depression. This is filth. And to be having a child living in this, girl, you need to get up for that baby. Exactly. As a mom of 5, don't ever let your storm get your kids wet. And I think that that's true. And I think it's kind of a tough love moment, but it's the reality. Your children's mental health is just as important as your own. And you cannot let that bleed into their lives and potentially traumatize them for the rest of their life.
Why are we glamorizing and why are we telling people that it's okay that their children are growing up in filthy houses?
Yep.
Y'all, I'm sorry, but that is not okay. It's not okay, and it's not normal, okay? I'm a mom of 5, and I say this with all the love in my mom heart. I get the house getting away from you sometimes. I get clutter, I get mess, but there is a difference in mess. There is a difference in there being some dirty dishes in the sink because you didn't feel like doing them the night before. There's a difference in, oh, I got behind on laundry because we were busy. Then your floors being so dirty that your toddler can't walk around because it turns their feet black.
Yes.
Your kids sleeping on a bare mattress that's dirty as because they don't have clean sheets on their bed.
I mean, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum.
The dishes in the sink growing mold because you haven't washed them in weeks. Your kids running around in not seasonal appropriate clothing because you haven't done their laundry. Those things are not normal. It is not good for them developmentally to grow up in a disgusting, unorganized, not clean environment.
See, here's what I don't understand. Okay, remember the first lady that we saw in this on this video? And she's like, oh my God, people think stay-at-home mom, have the dinner on the table by 5 and do this and blah, blah, blah. And she was being really like snippy and fresh and rude about it. My question is, what the fuck do you do all day? What do you do all day? Because this level of filth is not an overnight thing. You know? This has been building for weeks. So what have you been doing for weeks? I mean, if these women really are letting their houses get this much out of control in order to, you know, monetize the hate comments and, you know, the rage bait and all that kind of stuff, what do you do all day? Literally, are you sitting on your ass all day? Because it is not normal to sit in such a filthy environment and to not at least be overcome with the desire to maybe throw the paper towels away, throw the diapers away, throw the cups away, throw the cans away, do whatever you have to do. What the fuck do you do all day? Nobody is expecting, you know, like a 1950s Leave It to Beaver house. But nobody excuses this level of garbage, filth, accumulation, dirt, grime. I just don't get it. Like, how can you as a human being sit in the middle of that and sign off on it and say, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I don't understand. I guess we're all just built different.
We have got to stop normalizing that. The kids deserve better.
Well, then came a development that caused a whole lot more controversy.
Get my house ready with me so CPS can come over.
Get my house ready with me so CPS can come over. Isn't it adorable to turn a CPS visit into like a little dance routine and a big joke? Mother of the motherfucking year.
Get ready with me for CPS, Child Protective Services, to come over in my house. Get ready with me. This is content that she's monetizing and making money off of CPS coming to her house and paying her a visit.
Here's what the living room situation is. I know I have not carpet cleaned yet, but that I'm definitely gonna have to pull this guy out to the table. I don't know why it turns into a catch-all, but it does. The kitchen,
because you're a slob.
This is what the kitchen looks like, and
Wow.
she's cleaning her house for CPS to come over. No, just show CPS what you've been living like, because you've been living like this for 5 years. Okay, so why even get ready? If it's totally great, why even get ready? I don't even know why. Personally, I think CPS probably should have showed up and did a surprise visit, because then you would see the reality of what these children have been going through and these animals have been going through. Huge emphasis on the animals as well, because I think that those are kind of forgotten in this situation. But yeah, no, this is sick.
Get some dishes done and then declutter this. I don't know why, but this gets cluttered up with just random, I mean, just the most random stuff ever. Gotta vacuum the hallway.
A couple days ago, this had clothes all over, so she obviously knew that this was coming. She actually, in fact, was teasing that she had a big announcement that was coming.
Okay, what I think happened, because CPS has been known to do this, this never happened with us because we don't live this way, but with a guy in Connersville, sometimes what will happen is CPS will get a report that children are living in unsanitary conditions, or that the house is a mess or a health hazard or whatever. They'll come over, they'll do an inspection, and they'll say, we're going to give you 24, 48, however many hours to get this place clean. And then they'll come back and they'll inspect and see if at least the place is up to snuff. So I think that that's what happened. I think CPS was already at the house. They gave her some breathing room, and she decided to turn it into content and turn it into a big joke because it's hilarious, isn't it?
On her TikTok channel to stay tuned because there was a really big, exciting announcement. And guess what it was? It was CPS coming over. Yeah. Oh, it was her announcing that CPS was coming over. You cannot make this up. You cannot make it up.
Clean up the bathroom.
This is what her children's bathroom looks like with the dirty, nasty clothes, the dirt on the floor. This is, how can you sleep at night knowing this is where they get clean? I don't understand it.
That's just laundry. And then this is my husband's room where he sleeps. I get it. The carpets are disgusting.
Okay, so she and her husband sleep separately. I guess that one of the kids sleeps with the husband. I have so many questions about this family.
She knows, guys. Lay off.
My boys' room. I'm gonna vacuum, clearly.
The cat. It makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry.
Vacuum that. I think that's styrofoam.
Disgusting.
My oldest is autistic and he has pica. So that's what that is.
Oh, great. The oldest child is autistic and has pica. Okay, so you're going to leave shit all over the floor. Do you have any idea of how distressing this level of clutter and chaos is to somebody who's neurodivergent? This is a problem. And the kid has pica, so what is the kid eating? What is the kid eating then? And why are there like remainders of whatever the kid is eating on the floor? I shudder to think of what that kid is putting in his mouth and swallowing in that house. I just can't even begin to imagine.
And then my room, I know the carpets are disgusting. I just got this pile to take care of, and that's it. Now I know what you're gonna ask. Am I worried? No, not at all.
Of course you're not worried. You know why? Because you are one of the worst mothers I have ever seen on any social media platform. You are as bad as Shani. You're as bad as Shani. You know Shani, lady? Have you ever heard of Shani? You need to look at her. You and your husband need to take a look at Shani and Rev and see the condition that the kids lived in. Now, in this, to this lady's credit, I don't see human waste on the walls of the bedrooms. I don't see the mattresses stained, but they were at least covered with something. But this is no laughing matter. You are a disgrace to womanhood, to motherhood, to the human race. Disgusting.
No.
She's not worried.
I am a good mom. I take
No,
care
you're
of my
not. You're a
kids.
terrible
They have
mother.
heat, they have a roof over their head. They have lots of food. They have beds to sleep in. They have clean clothes. I mean, I am not worried at all. And I am going to show this lady the progress that I have been making because it is astronomical. To go back and look at some of the videos and look at what it what it looks like now. Like this living room has been clean for months now, and we just keep up on it. I'm not worried. So come along on this journey with me.
Come along. Follow along. Follow me. Follow me for more.
I'm bringing you guys along. I am here to hide nothing. I almost thought about not saying anything and dealing with this privately, but no, it's because of the haters on TikTok why I'm in this situation, and I am going to let this lady be fully aware.
It's because of the hate.
I'm sorry, but did the haters and the critics on TikTok, did they come over and turn your house into a landfill? Did they break into your house, mess up all your dishes, leave shit all over the floor for your kid to put in his mouth? Is that what happened? No, I don't think so. There used to be a time when people were a lot more private, when they didn't overshare everything on the internet, when they didn't put their degeneracy on display to make money. And I understand that there are people who have no talent. They're not intelligent. They can't draw. They can't dance. They can't sing. They can't play an instrument. There are a lot of things that they can't do. But I honestly think we were better off as a species when people were a lot more circumspect about what they chose to share publicly, because this is inexcusable. It's inexcusable, and I feel like assaulted and insulted that I have to see this, that even as someone who doesn't go on TikTok, that you cannot avoid TikTok drama on every platform, and that you are subjected to an individual like this, and you have to be made aware of how they live, and they're boasting about it and making excuses for it. Absolutely disgusting.
Haters that I'm in this situation. No, it's because of you. Take some accountability in your life that you did this, okay? Your house is a mess. Your house is unlivable for your kids. It is dangerous for your kids. It's a toxic waste zone. And you've been incentivized to keep it that way because you're making money on TikTok. It has nothing to do with anyone else but yourself.
Who has probably no idea that I am almost to 500,000 followers on a social media app, that these are strangers, people who do not know me personally, that are calling in to make reports of my house being messy. Yes, it was messy. Yes, I am fixing it.
It was messy. It was filthy, in fact.
There's nothing.
Nobody would be able to report your house being messy if you didn't put it on the fucking internet, lady. Isn't that amazing how that works? Nobody would know anything about how you live if you didn't put it on the internet and monetize it. And then she complains, oh my God, people think they know how we live. You showed it. You turned it into content. Okay.
They can do about that. They will not take my kids. So follow along, because
if CPS is coming to your house, there's a chance they could take your kids. They would not show up if there was no chance in hell that they're taking your kids. They wouldn't. There's a chance because they can't live like this.
Okay.
There's always a chance that CPS could take your kids, but I think that in this woman's case, unfortunately, she's probably going to be given 100 chances. Even though she admitted that one of her kids has autism and pica, and he's eating off the floor, and the house is a mess, because in many cases CPS prefers to keep families together. And they prefer to, put you through parenting classes or give you an action plan or whatever. Look at how many attempts it took to get Shani's kids taken away. And that was a clear-cut example of neglect and abuse. And that had been going on for years in public on YouTube. Everybody saw it. So I'm guessing that this woman is not going to lose her kids. I'm going to try and give her some grace and say she needs counseling, she needs parenting classes, and she needs to bring in house cleaners twice a month. Twice a month, I think she can swing it. Make a little less money on TikTok, maybe film a less messy house, and bring in house cleaners. How about that?
You guys want an update? Currently in this room, I just need to fix this and fix that. Again, there is nothing at this time I can do about the carpets. They're not taking my children because my carpets are dirty. I'm working on it.
After 5 years, she's been working on it.
After I finish the room,
mayonnaise jar sitting out in the sun.
I'm gonna do this and that and finish up in the bathroom. Also, I know somebody's gonna go, oh, look at all the filth. This I could probably get clean, but this
I could probably get it clean.
This is lifting away, so I can't get that clean. It stays like that. Just because my home doesn't look like it belongs in a magazine does not mean it's an okay environment for my kids to be. But boy, some of you all are just really holding tight to my old videos and saying that I have not improved. The real ones can see where my improvement has been.
Holding tight to my old videos, maybe because people are not falling for it anymore. They're not. They found out you've been doing this for 5 years. Nothing's changed. And now you're only cleaning because you know you're going to make money and you know that CPS is coming over. The jig is up, okay? You're not getting away with this anymore.
And no, it's not because CPS is coming over.
Is why.
This was going to happen anyways.
It's
not. Just, I'm getting it done quicker.
I'm getting it done quicker because CPS is coming over. No, show them what you were living like. Show them.
Right.
And I hope that they realize it's been 5 years.
I'm pretty sure that CPS is well aware of how this woman has been living for 5 years. I'm sure that this is one of those people who has inspired dozens, if not hundreds of people to call CPS because of the concerns about the living conditions in the house.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with her coming over. I'm fine with her coming into my house and seeing what it looks like and taking suggestions from her. You know, I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a horrible mom. I know my house is messy. I know, but I'm taking care of it.
You said it's a matter of life and death. You said that a year ago, 2 years ago. You said my kids deserve better a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Thank you to all the hate comments. Keep them coming because you're just putting money in my pocket at this point.
There you go.
She said it. You're just putting money in my pocket thanks to the haters.
Well, that's funny because the words that came out of her mouth was, I don't care about the dirt on the walls or the crayons on the walls or the stains on the floor. We don't care about that. We just care about your kids walking over dirty clothes or, you know, them having to be able to walk through the hallways. Or
They can't do that. Literally a couple days ago, they couldn't do that. There's clothes on the ground. There's stuff. Literally, as you were showing Get Ready With Me for CPS, you had clothes on the ground in the bathroom, all over the bath. You couldn't walk into certain rooms. They haven't been able to walk. So it seems like they do care.
the kitchen and stuff. Yeah. She showed me a screenshot of my kitchen and she was like, this is like a grade C. A grade C would mean like it's still okay. It's not the greatest, but yeah. You guys expect something completely different when these people come through, and I'm sorry, but you're trying to cancel me? Make it happen. I'm still here.
Look at that. The
I love that
arrogance.
she thinks it's one big joke that CPS is coming over. I mean, you got to be kidding me. These are some of the comments that I see. I see so many judging, but I can see what she's saying. She's improving and getting better and keeping it that way. If you compare before and now, it is way cleaner. Does she say she's stopping? No. Guys, once again, as this person replies, girl, she's been doing this for 4 years. If you're new to her page, you might think this too and be like, yeah, she's improving. She's working on it. She's doing everything she needs to do. Stop. And then she replies, I've followed her for years. Yes, it has been a while, but if you compare from back then to now, there's a difference. You can see that she's keeping on top of what she's done. Girl, the video of the child pushing the trash on their bed was literally this year. It was a month ago. A month. We have to be serious. This is unbelievable.
So?
Somebody said, do you hear what she's saying though? She has an open case with you. And she goes, so?
I knew that. That's fine. Why is so many other people so concerned and I'm the one dealing with it and I'm like, okay, we got this.
Why are you not concerned is the question.
Because you're a terrible
We're gonna
mother.
take care of business. We're gonna get it done. Yes, I'm sitting on the toilet. Shh. I love how so many other people care, even now that it's clean and now that a CPS lady has come over. This is like,
how have we gotten to this point where people are this comfortable posting stuff like this? All of it, like every single aspect of this is
Agreed.
insane.
normal for them to make sure, to come back and make sure. Like, it's not something special. She already opened the case when she walked into my door the first time. Oh my God. I'm probably just gonna have to take a break for a few days after this. I'm not gonna post any videos. Some of you people overwhelmed the out of me. If I'm not worried, none of you should be. I am gonna keep up with it. I cannot let it get like that again.
Have we heard this before? Yes.
I promise my children that. If nobody wants to believe me, that's fine. Leave a comment. I know you do. It just helps my video and pays me more. So have a nice day. I gotta wipe now.
Just makes me more money. This is disgusting. Make sure you tell them that you've been cleaning for 4 years. Somebody commented. Yeah, tell them that. Be honest.
Right.
You said you're not trying to hide anything. Tell them. Somebody said, unbelievable. Somebody called on you. You're a good person. You're doing the best you can, and you just keep going and stay strong. Somebody goes, it should have happened sooner. Yeah, it should have happened sooner. But now I think because she's getting more and more viral, more and more people are seeing it and waking up to this scam that's happening. Honestly, and that's what it is. It's a scam.
Well, here's exactly what my house looked like when the CPS lady walked in yesterday. Minus the load of dishes, because we did a load of dishes before
Okay.
she got here. I get that it's not perfect. I know a lot of people are expecting me to live in some magazine.
Well, it's better.
The media.
No one's expecting
Nobody's
that. No one.
expecting that. Nobody.
So incredibly well. She did not care what my carpets looked like. She did not care about the crayons on the wall or the dust in the window and, you know, everything. She just cared that, you know, the kids are stepping on clothes. Also,
There's clothes on the ground. There's clothes all over their bathroom.
to mention my bathroom. I had my husband clean the bathroom, and that was a mistake because he did not do the toilet very well. So I have.
Oh, wow. You had your husband clean something. Where is this husband, by the way? Where is the husband, and why is the other adult in the house not being more proactive? Does he not give a shit about CPS coming over too, or what are we doing here? You know, whenever I watch clips of people's houses that are at this level of filth and decay and with every room dirty and all the dishes are dirty and blah, 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 blah. And I think, okay, this person is married and this person has children that are old enough to pitch in. What is everybody else in the house doing? Granted, there's somebody who's a stay-at-home mom. I get it. But you would think that at a certain point, the husband would put his foot down and say, that's enough. I can't live like this. You know, and just like Karsten and I were talking earlier about Eileen with the 6 kids, all the kids get a trash bag, a big hefty trash bag, go through the house, and each one is in charge of a room, and you put shit in the hefty bag and you put it out, and that's it. What is everybody doing to participate? I understand that at a certain point inertia kicks in because the hoarder is so mentally ill that it's very, very difficult to clean around them. But you have to wonder, what is the husband doing? Does he just go into that filthy room and fall asleep and he doesn't say anything? He goes into the kitchen, there's not one clean dish. Everything is covered in trash, and he's like, yeah, this'll do. You know, that'll do, pig, that'll do. I don't get it. I don't understand these family dynamics. I just don't understand.
I'm going to have to come back in there, but she didn't care about that. She's going to come back randomly in the next 4 weeks and make sure that we're staying on top of it. But other than that, it went really, really well.
So this is the caption of that video. She says, and no, she does not want to take the kids from me as long as we keep it up, which we are. Case closed, 14th of the next month. Just want to say good try, haters, but I was already fixing it. Wow. Here's a good comment.
Okay.
Growing up extremely poor, my mom always said, just because we are poor doesn't mean we have to be dirty. Finances have nothing to do with cleanliness. Thank you. Exactly. If she plans to come back, that means the complete opposite of case closed. Exactly. Okay.
Correct.
Exactly. And if you're planning on doing a random visit sometime in the next 4 weeks, yeah. As a social worker, another visit means the case isn't closed. How does a toilet actually get like that? I'm traumatized. Some advice. If she didn't care and it went really well, there would not be a surprise visit in the next few weeks. Exactly.
Get my house ready with me so CPS can come over.
The fact that she has the audacity to do the nay while getting ready for CPS to come over is absolutely embarrassing.
Did anybody see Amanda MCG? Her video had like 2.5 million views where she got CPS called on her apparently. But is it going to be enough? Okay, first of all, she's got almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. She gets hundreds of thousands of views on her videos. She's in the creator fund. Gotta be. She can afford to hire a house cleaner.
Exactly.
She's just not doing it because this is her content.
Exactly.
They obviously know that she's on TikTok. They know that she's making money. They could have recommended to her, and I'm sure that they probably did. She needs to hire a house cleaner.
Correct.
It's disgusting. It's just my opinion.
She knew when CPS was coming over, she could have easily hired somebody to come over and help her get
That's
it ready.
right.
And absolutely, for sure, know that her house was going to be in the best shape that it possibly could be. But instead, she didn't do that. She turned it into content. Every single thing was content, which is just unbelievable that she would even do. Get ready with me for CPS. Who does that? It's
Who
sickening.
does that?
She did get CPS called on her for a reason.
Get my house ready with me so CPS can come over.
Get my house ready with me
That's one of the most insane videos I've ever seen.
That is
Like in my life I've
crazy.
ever seen.
for CPS. You know, having CPS visit your house
You're
is
welcome,
not the
tell
flex
you.
that you think it is, especially when your kitchen looks like this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or when this is the room your husband sleeps in. Is that a bag of chips on the floor?
Literally a day before CPS came over, that's what it looked like.
Like, this is the bedroom your 2 sons sleep in.
Used to be a cat room, by the way, where they would use it as, her words, not mine, as their personal litter box.
Like, you honestly think CPS isn't going to see these viral videos, especially the one where you had your dirty laundry all over the place? Like, just look at your washer. There is dirt inside where you're supposed to put the soap.
How?
Like, you have
How?
dirty
How?
clothes in the bathroom on the floor where your kids are supposed to clean themselves. Like, how is it possible that every single room has clutter, has trash, has dirty laundry all over the place? And CPS knows that this is how your kids live. Like,
Right.
that you've gone viral so many times that CPS already knows what's going on. And honestly,
Exactly.
why do you do that? Like, how do you think that makes you look as a mom when you film and post your dirty home that
Good
your kids live in?
question.
How do you think that makes your kids feel when they go to school and people are like, oh my gosh, I saw your home on TikTok online? It's not the flex you think it is.
That's a really, really good point, and it would be humiliating as one of her kids. Humiliating.
Having CPS come to your house.
Look, y'all, I'm a huge mental health advocate, I really am. But here's the thing. This creator Amanda, messy house, messy is really truly an understatement here.
It's
the thing
not a
is, she
messy
says she's
house.
making no excuses, but she's saying
It's a
that,
filthy
you know,
house.
mental health is real. She brings mental illness, mentally unwell into this, as she, as I added here, has normalized the mess. So if you're saying you got this messy because of mental illness, then how could you also be supporting normalizing all of this?
It's a great point. It's the point, actually, in fact. That's all I have to say for this video. What are your
Thank God
guys'
it's over.
thoughts on Filthy House TikTok? Leave them down below in the comments. As always, if you like this kind of video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. I make tons of videos on popular internet topics, many more to come very soon. So I hope to see you guys in my next video, and that's it. Kiki,
you are delightful and charming. I've seen other commentators do videos on the same topic, and they have not been able to hold my interest the way you have, because you are a class act, and I think you're wonderful, and I hope that everybody is subscribed to Kiki Chanel. She's fantastic. So I think that for my next stream, I am going to do a video, or a stream, sorry, about another hot topic of something that is going on, of course, on TikTok that I just discovered today. And it has a surprisingly divided, it's created a surprisingly divided reaction. And I'm not quite sure what to make of this reaction. Some of you may be familiar with the story. It is the story of the American girl who decided to accept an au pair assignment in Milan, which sounds like a dream come true, right? Not so much. Not so much. She didn't last long. In her first foray into au pairing. And something about the story really drew my attention. And I thought it was very interesting, primarily the way that different people viewed it, and the way that people received her, and the way that people received her story, because I think that initially, she released the first video too soon, and I think that it wasn't detailed enough, and so people assumed that it was just the story of an entitled, lazy Gen Zer who was offered this great opportunity and blew it because she was too lazy to follow through with her obligations, but absolutely not. It's not that simple, okay? And so I'm very curious to see what people in this community have to say about it, because I know that when I heard her detailed descriptions of what it was like working in that house, yes, initially it may sound like, wow, that girl should have stuck it out a little longer. She should have, stayed around. She should have been more patient. She should have had more discipline. But no, I began to understand why she cut out so early and why she decided to go back to the United States. Now, what the mistake that she made, and I'm giving a little bit away here, the mistake that she made was she made it sound like her life was in danger. Okay, she clickbaited a bit. And she ratcheted up the drama. She made it sound like the family was trying to hurt her, or that the family was chasing her. She did a fresh garbage, in other words. Oh my God. She never said that she was being stalked, threatened, or that she had been physically harmed in any way. But she gave the impression that there was something very serious, and that was the reason that she left her assignment. But no, it was a lot more mundane, and I think it's a lot more relatable than that. So she took the criticism on the chin, and she came out and she gave a fuller account of why she decided to leave, and I found it very interesting. Robert Welsh has covered it. A number of other content creators have covered it, and I thought that it was quite interesting. So you have a little bit of, yeah, she's a kid and she, decided to cut out, and maybe she should have stuck around longer. And then you have another part, which is, boy, oh boy, do the parents of the child have a lot to answer for. I mean, don't get wowed by the idea of working in Milan, okay? I know it sounds very glamorous, but she wasn't working at Armani. She wasn't working at Louis Vuitton. She was working under very difficult conditions with a very demanding matriarch, and there are a lot of other issues that go into this story that make it interesting enough for us to talk about. And it doesn't involve hoarding, filth, dirty toilets, sinks full of dirty dishes. So what a relief, right? Thank you, No Name. Thank you, my love, for the memberships, and I hope that all the pocket watchers made a note of what just happened. And I know that you won't contain yourselves. Tasha, I know that you're going to take a break, a nice long bathroom break at your CNA job, to let Hecate and Fresh Garbage and Ms. Rain Seattle and K Petty and everybody else, oh, who am I kidding? They're probably all watching, know that No Name just donated memberships. But thank you so much, No Name. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So anyway, you guys, I've been here for almost 2 hours. And that is it for me today. I am very pleased to report that today is the first day in weeks that I have actually felt well. I don't know why. I don't know why I snapped out of it. But snap out of it I did. Let's hope it holds. And it's been a real joy being able to come online and not talk about Girl World, not talk about the same old losers over and over and over again, and to enjoy a couple of hours with you guys. It's been my great joy to be able to share this time with you. So thank you all so much. Thank you to Betsy Martin. Thank you to No Name for the donations. And thank you to the rest of you for being such lovely, kind chatters with such wonderful and interesting things to say. I appreciate each and every one of you. Oh my God. Okay, hang on, Karsten. Hang on. I'm not ready to go yet. Because Karsten will always drag me back into this. Not that I'm kicking and screaming. Hang on. Okay, hang on. I think that we need to give ourselves a treat. We give ourselves a little bit of a treat, shall we? Since we're all girls and we're all gay men here. Some of us are both. And yes, it does work that way. Let's just look at this, shall we? Hang on. Let me take myself off the screen. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that face. You goddamned handsome motherfucker. Smile. 62 years old.
Very good, thank you.
Look at him. Remember, I don't know how many of you guys ever watched Johnny McGovern, but he used to have this tagline, "Look at her." Look at this 62-year-old man. "62. Look at that smile. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. And I am very pleased to report that this is the highest grossing Mission Impossible ever. So he's going out with a bang. I am even happier to announce that, yes, there will be another Top Gun movie. God only knows how old he'll be when he films that movie. Yes. Yes. That is a movie star. And we are waiting for Keanu to do something. We're waiting, Keanu. We're waiting. I just really like the fact that we're seeing like these younger boomer actors and these older Gen X actors, and they're aging so well, and they're so good at fan servicing, and they're so good looking, and we grew up with them, and we're really attached to them. But I would like to know, how is it possible? How is it possible that we went from that Tom Cruise now at 62, in my opinion, looks better than he did dancing around in tighty whities with Ray-Bans when he was in his 20s? And how is it that Keanu now looks better, more stylish, classier, more handsome than he did in Bill and Ted's or The River's Edge or any of the movies that he made when he was in his 20s. We love Keanu. I adore Tom Cruise. I want to make it abundantly clear. I could not give a damn about Tom Cruise belonging to Scientology. That is his problem. Maybe someday he will repair his relationship with Suri. Maybe he'll get away from that horrible cult. But, God damn it, Tom Cruise, thank you for not putting filler in your face anymore. I can see the close-ups. I can see the lines around your eyes, and you look better than ever. You are amazing. God bless you, sir. And God bless you, Keanu. And keep on riding that subway, Keanu. We love you. We love you for being humble. So, I have tried. I closed out my stream yesterday talking about the Karen Reed case. I have tried for the past 24 hours making sense out of this case. And quite frankly, my mind is spinning from the evidence, from everything else. I don't know what to say. How many people in chat, by the way? I'm just going to run a very informal poll. You don't have to vote. It's okay. I won't be mad if you don't. How many people in the chat think that Karen Reed is guilty? And how many people think that she's innocent? I'm just curious because I am trying very, very hard to find the plumb line that goes through that evening and leads to the current destination, which is a courtroom where she is being accused of murder or, I guess, homicide or vehicular manslaughter. I don't know. I am leaning in the direction of not guilty. I have not found any, I just, there's no there. There's literally no smoking gun. And I keep on getting stuck on the issue of motive. She had no motive to kill that man. And there's so many questions surrounding the people who were in the house that he was found in front of, the investigators. Honestly, I would not vote to convict her. There's too much reasonable doubt. And I have not seen anything that has come forward in this new trial that would convince me that that she did it. Because again, I cannot determine a motive. And I don't know if the prosecution, because I haven't gotten that far into the latest round, but I don't know if the prosecution has even floated a motive why this woman, who is law-abiding, she doesn't have a history of this sort of behavior. Why would she kill her cop boyfriend? Why would she do it? And she's hardly a spring chicken, you know? So why would she wait until this stage in her life to jam herself up in the legal system? And why would she, if she decided to kill this man, why would she do it in front of the house, a house belonging to somebody in law enforcement? And why would she do it with other members of law enforcement inside the house? It seems very reckless, doesn't it? I mean, I know that everybody was drinking, everybody was drunk, and she was drunk, but why would you pick that location? And why would you pick that time? Why would you wait until a blizzard is falling and kill the man in front of a house belonging to members of law enforcement? It makes absolutely no sense. So I'm afraid that the prosecution has not made a case. I'm sorry, they just haven't. Doesn't make sense. So that is my analysis so far. The evidence does not point in the direction of this woman's guilt. Just doesn't. Now, she is a very unpleasant person in interviews. She is hot-headed. She has a very loose tongue. She's not a very sympathetic defendant. She hasn't put on a good show for the public. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the evidence, and I do not see, I don't see evidence in favor of putting her in jail for either murder or manslaughter. I'm just not buying it. So unless there's some bombshell forensic evidence that hasn't come out yet, I would vote not guilty. That's just me. All right, you guys. Now I really am going. Thanks again. And I will see you guys, I hope, tomorrow. I hope I don't have a recurrence of whatever the hell was wrong with me. But Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I will be back tomorrow, and we will be discussing that Milan au pair case. All right? See you later. Thanks, everybody. Thank you again.